For today's video, I've got an interesting idea. What I'm going to be doing is determining the best possible starting five from each different country made up of NBA players. So it's basically going to be like if everyone that was born in the same country had to play together, kind of like a national team but in the NBA, and I'm going to be determining the best starting five made up of those. Obviously, there is a lot of international talent in the NBA today, but not a lot from each different country, so I was only able to come up and fully fill a starting five for only 6 countries, and some of them you can probably think of who they are, but it's still going to be an interesting video nonetheless to see which countries right now have the most NBA talent in the league today and how these teams would fare in the actual NBA. Before we start, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I haven't shouted out my Instagram in a while, so make sure if you guys follow the channel regularly, follow my Instagram for this channel. It is at danieldolari.yt. The name will be down below in the description as well, so if you have Instagram, definitely be sure to follow me there for lots of updates with the channels and sometimes some NBA polls in my story. With that being said, let's get started with the video. So starting off with Team Australia, and right now in the NBA there is quite a little bit of Australian talent. Their starting five consists of Kyrie Irving, Patty Mills, Joe Ingles, Ben Simmons, and Aaron Baines. Obviously, we have 2 guys that have made the All-Star team, and Kyrie Irving, who's a superstar, and Ben Simmons, who a lot of people consider a star, is very good defensively, and I think they would be a very good duo. It'd be interesting to see how Ben's playmaking can go along with Kyrie's scoring, and also how Ben could play down low here, so that would be very good for them. They do have some shooting with Patty Mills and Joe Ingles, along with a good playmaker in Ingles. Defensively, this team wouldn't be great, but they would probably be around average. Ben is obviously a great defender, and then down low with Aaron Baines is a little bit of a weakness for them. And in terms of if this team is a playoff team, it's a tough call. Probably not in the West, maybe in the East, and I could see this team being a team that consistently is around 500, winning as many games as they lose, but they do definitely have some talent at the point guard and power forward position. It'd be a close call when it comes to playoff time. Moving on to Team Canada, who probably has the second best starting five of the video, and if you guys watch the channel, you know that I'm from Canada. I'm a big Toronto Raptors fan, and I even made a video early on in the channel ranking the top 15 Canadian players in the NBA. You can go check that out if you want as well, but in terms of their starting five, it'd be pretty talented. It consists of Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Clark, and Tristan Thompson at center. You've got 2 all-star caliber players, especially Murray in the playoffs, with Shai and Murray. Pretty good defensively there too, so they have good perimeter defense and a lot of scoring there. You've got a very good player, especially this season, in Andrew Wiggins, who has shown that he can do it on the defensive end as well, and can score around 20 points per game consistently. You've got Brandon Clark, who is very versatile, very good at rolling to the basket, scoring around there, a good overall defender, and can shoot the 3 very well. And then you've got Tristan Thompson to protect the rim, grab a lot of rebounds, and be your traditional center. This is a very talented team, and as a Canadian, I can say I'm very proud of the talent that we have in the NBA today. There's a couple honorable mentions here going to RJ Barrett, who in the future, if he continues to improve, could definitely get into the starting five, and also Dillon Brooks, who is scoring at a pretty high rate this year as well. So in terms of this starting five we have here, currently, they're definitely going to be a playoff team, maybe a championship contender. I think they need probably a superstar to get to there, but it is a very good and overall complete team, and right now in the NBA, Canadian talent is as good as ever. Moving on to France, and their starting five is Frank Ntilikina, Evan Fournier, Nicolas Batum, Ian Mahinmi, and Rudy Gobert. The best one here is Rudy Gobert, the only one out of all of these who have made an all-star team, and then other than him, the really only consistent player in the NBA has been Evan Fournier. This team would be interesting because they do have some weaknesses with Frank Ntilikina and Ian Mahinmi, who has never been consistent in the NBA and struggled to get playing time. Nicolas Batum has been a pretty good role player this year, and him and Fournier could add shooting for this team. They don't really have that good of a playmaker. I guess Frank Ntilikina could be that guy, and this team would be pretty good defensively as well. Obviously, Frank Ntilikina is a pretty good perimeter defender, and if you have Rudy Gobert on your team, he's a 2-time defensive player of the year and is going to be your centerpiece on defense. Any team with him is going to be good defensively. If this team is a playoff team, I would be very, very surprised, but they do have Gobert and Evan Fournier to be a steady 17 to 20 point per game guy for them with very good 3-point shooting at times, and being a playoff team is a stretch for this team, but I guess it's still possible. Moving on to the starting five for Team Germany, and their team has Dennis Schroeder, Isaac Bonga, Maxi Kleber, Mo Wagner, and Daniel Theis. I mean, this team wouldn't be a playoff team at all. Germany should still be proud of the talent that they have in the NBA, because there are only 6 starting 5s to this video, and they did crack into it. And Dennis Schroeder is a very good player that's representing Germany, and of this starting 5, really he's the only one that is a reliable scoring option in the NBA. Consistently throughout his career, he's averaged around 15 to 20 points per game, was a 6th Man of the Year candidate last year, could win it this year with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's playing very well. He would obviously lead this team with his playmaking ability, his 3-point shooting, and his overall 3-level scoring. Other than that, the only really good player here is Daniel Theis, who can be a good rim protector, can clean up the glass, maybe score inside a few times. Their main play here would be the Dennis Schroeder and Daniel Theis pick and roll. Other than that, you have Bonga, Kleber, and Wagner, who can maybe be good defenders and maybe hit a 3 every now and then. Overall, this team is definitely not playoff worthy, but like I mentioned, Germany should be proud of some of the players they've produced here. So now we've got the starting 5 for Team Serbia, which is probably the worst of the video, but definitely the most interesting of the video. You can already think of the main player who I'm thinking here, who's going to lead this team. And originally when I looked at these players, their starting 5 looked like Marko Guduric, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nemanja Bjelica, Boban Marjanovic, and Nikola Jokic, which don't really fit together as a starting 5, but when you maneuver it a little bit, I came up with the creative idea of putting Nikola Jokic at point guard, which we've seen him do in the scrimmage games in the NBA bubble, and he definitely does have the skills as a point guard. He's obviously an incredible playmaker, just has to get better at his ball handling, but for this team, I'm experimenting with putting him at point guard, Guduric at shooting guard, Bogdan at small forward, Nemanja Bjelica at power forward who can stretch the floor and play some defense, and then big body Boban at center. And obviously this team wouldn't be a playoff team, but with Jokic at point guard, it would be a very interesting team to watch, especially with Boban playing in the paint, and then guys like Bogdan and Bjelica to stretch the floor. To be completely honest with you, I really don't know who Guduric is. I haven't seen him play in any NBA game, so I can't judge his talent, but the fact that he doesn't play really shows that he's not a reliable source here. And then, like I've mentioned, this team would just be really interesting to watch with Jokic, because especially with a few shooters surrounding him, it'd be interesting to see how he would do as a point guard. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have the United States, who obviously produces most of the talent in the NBA. Most players in the NBA are from the United States, and really this starting 5 for them is basically just the All-NBA first team. You've got Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, who again just seem like an All-NBA first team, and just for the record, the bench for this team would be Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, and Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of the video. I went through the 6 countries that could put together a starting 5 in the NBA with all of their talent from the country, and what the teams would look like if they were to be a starting 5 in the NBA. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely tried something new today with this idea. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like to let me know, and in the future, I could be making a lot more starting 5 videos like this if you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching this video. As I mentioned, make sure to subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys next video.